Hello, welcome to CLSP Politics. I hope everyone's got their coffee this morning. So last night was crazy. I did a quick show before I went to bed. This is my more detailed look at what exactly happened and what that might look like for 2026. So, well, let's start. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? So, just a dominating basically 16-point win for Abigail Spanberger in Virginia. Incredible. Um, this is going to have repercussions throughout 2026. I mean, so I was in Virginia in 2023, and my team and I we were tasked to concentrate on 5 state house seats, of which we were able to flip 4, which is great. I mean, honestly, in this business, if you walk away from a state with an 80% targeted win, and you take the majority of the legislature, huge. And hard work. I mean, we did a lot of work, 15, 20-hour days. It was busy. So we won 4 seats. Big deal. Huge deal. They won 16 seats last night. I'm sorry, 13 seats last night. My bad. That's enormous, and that's going to have repercussions across Virginia. This is their turnout. The bigger the circle, the bigger the turnout was. And blue, of course, is Democrat, red is Republican. And I want you guys to look at the current, what the current map for Virginia looks like for Congress. And I want you guys to look at this and compare the two and look that 1 and 5 are definitely in play. And so is 2. I think those are solid Democratic holds. And we can reduce the number of Republicans holding congressional seats in Virginia down to 2. If the math stays this way, I think this is enormous. This plus Prop 50, and I'll get to Prop 50. Don't worry. And this is going to happen across the country in 26. We already saw it in April of this year when I was up in Wisconsin with my team. That's a statewide Supreme Court race. Normally they call that thing at like 11:30 midnight. And you can go back, I've got videos on it. They called that thing at 8:30 in the evening. They called this race like what, 15 minutes after the polls closed, 20 minutes. I mean, the math was in like 13 point. I'm sorry, this is a 16-point win. Incredible. So this is the Democratic shift across Virginia. So that's ridiculous. Huge. And is the beginning of the end for the Republican Party in Virginia. Facts. So let's go to New Jersey. Also a huge win, 13-point win. Just complete domination. Almost 500,000 votes. Probably will be 500,000 votes when it's all said and done. But I wanted to show you guys the congressional districts and what the state looks like. And I'll be honest, 2 and 7 are definitely are heavily leaning Democrat now, because it's not just that, oh, this election went well. The amount of math that the data directors for these campaigns will get from this race is going to be huge. And it allows us to target better and understand where the voters are better and understand where the issues are. So it makes it just so much better and much more efficient. So every dollar that we we use goes so much further because we've got this hard data to hang this stuff on, and it's going to be 12 months old when the election happens. But the amount of polling and data and door knocking and research and data grab, all the stuff they're going to do over the next 12 months, is going to help. So I think you're looking at maybe District 4 being the only Republican held seat in New Jersey. That's my guess. Again, huge shifts in everywhere but 4. So, like I said, feeling like, yeah, if you're a Republican in New Jersey, I'd start packing. Then I wanted to look at just the overall New Jersey shift for governor. And I mean, that's the end of the Republican Party in New Jersey. Yeah. And then, this is kind of the beginning of the end here. As far as the regions go, every region went to the left in New Jersey. Incredible. And as far as groups go, the moderate Republican is the one you want to look at. Yeah, the middle is important too. That moderate Republican going from R plus 5 to D plus 5. Okay, the way the math works out is this. So for every hard Democratic vote and every Republican vote, they're basically worth 1 point each, right? So every Republican that the Republicans are counting on that come over to the Democrat side is a vote that the Republicans have to replace and the Democrats weren't counting on. Right? So technically, those moderate Republicans that went R plus 5 to D plus 5 are worth 2 votes because it's a vote the Republicans absolutely were counting on and have to replace, and it's one the Democrats weren't counting on at all. So that shift is huge. Absolutely enormous. Real quick, like and subscribe if you haven't. I've had a lot of new subscribers and a lot of new viewers. I think 85% of my viewers are like new people, which is awesome. But that means also a lot of you guys aren't subscribing, which is cool. I get it. But it would really help if you did. Also, you can go to my Substack where you can become a paid member of my Substack, where you'll see interviews and my papers and all my write-ups of different things that have been done over time. And definitely as we go into 2026, Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok, I have a lot of stuff up there too. And YouTube is where you'll see a lot of my full-length videos and things of that nature. So check it out. Okay. Yay, the mayor's race. 9 points. So a lot of the polling had him around 5 to 6, which tells you polling is getting worse. I mean, these are all by phone, right? That's why I usually look at field programs as a much better and more accurate measurement of a campaign, as where a campaign might be. And also you're able to collect more data as far as like what were the key issues. And Mamdani has been quoted many times talking about what's the thing that really made the biggest difference. And I hope he keeps saying it because it's field. It's knocking on doors. That's what does it. That's how AOC won in 2018. It's knocking on doors. Mail is insanely expensive. And also it's like you have to spend like $130 for one vote. Knocking on doors is like $15 a vote. If you do the math and the administration, canvasser pay, down to the cost of the door hanger. Phones are inaccurate because, to be honest, you don't know who you're really talking to. But Mamdani knocked on doors. It's honestly the only way. I mean, Cuomo was a flawed candidate, to put it mildly, but it's the only way you get 9 points. There's really no other apparatus. I mean, yeah, he did social media and stuff, and social media is great once you've got buy-in, because it's so easy to parse you out of the bubble with social media. Social media makes sure you hold on to a vote you've got. Knocking on doors and talking to people is how you get that vote in the first place. And that's what Mamdani did. Solid one, 9 points. Cuomo did okay in a couple spots, but nothing crazy. It was what we call a landslide. California Prop 50. Oh man. Now this is only at 71% of the vote counted. But let me tell you, when it's 2-1, wow. Like I think I saw a poll that had like a 9 points ahead or something. Nobody had 30 points ahead. Nobody had that. So once that last was that 29% of the vote comes in, we'll have a much better kind of solid look. But I'm going to tell you right now, 2-1 is brutal. It's brutal. And and you got to understand, I did a show on this the other day. Like 80% of Democrats liked having the commission. So this has nothing to do with the commission and everything to do with Donald Trump weaponizing gerrymandering in Texas. So this is where the vote came out. Yeah. Those little bitty purple dots are where there was a little bit of vote against Prop 50. Everything else, though, I mean, the bigger the dot, the more, of course, LA and all the big cities are there. But yeah. Way to go, California. Jeez Louise. So I wanted to talk about something a little local in Texas real quick. There's a special election going on for a congressional seat that's remained empty for, I don't know, 9-10 months because the governor of Texas is just a tyrant and wouldn't call the special election because he didn't want an extra seat in Congress voting Democrat. This is how the Republicans play. This has nothing to do with democracy. So these are the three candidates advancing to the runoff. I have my favorite, Amanda Edwards. I really like her. I think she's just wicked smart, and absolutely just an amazing candidate. Not to take anything away from Christian. Menifee did a great job, but you can see these totals are like insanely low. Like normally for a congressional race, it's like 200,000, right? So we're at like 66,000 at 77% reporting. So it's, we're looking at probably maybe half the normal turnout. Now, what's really messed up about this is now they go to a runoff, right? So in about a month, they're going to have another election. And then they have another election in December, which will be about 3 months after that because it's the first Tuesday of March. So really, you just have December, January. And really, you'll have part of December because the election's going to be in December. And then you've got January and February. You effectively have 60 days to run, not even for this congressional seat. It'll be a completely different seat. Remember, I just said Texas weaponized the gerrymandering, right? So this seat doesn't even exist anymore. So they're literally running for the next month for a congressional seat that will not exist. And they're going to have to run for a completely different seat. And that's just for the primary. And then they got to run again in November. And a heavily gerrymandered Republican, played with congressional seat. And these are just top three. There were 25 candidates in this race. And if you don't think number two, three, four, five, and six aren't going to run again for that other seat, they've already done it. They've already put the work in. They got the logo, they got their material. They probably have yard signs left over. They'll take a piece of tape and put it over the date or whatever. I've been there. In fact, they're doing that I'll bet money they're doing that right now because they've got a runoff. Just like, wow. Somehow my firm didn't get pulled into this race. Don't know how. Crazy. So my takeaways are clear. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, really. Yeah, these are all blue states, except for, of course, the one I did in Texas. But California, New Jersey, and Virginia were never going to be taken by the Republicans. They certainly were never going to be taken by the Republicans with Trump in the White House. But I want to go back and talk about that moderate Republican shift. That R5 to D5 shift of voters has to scare the crap out of the Republican Party. Certainly the Republicans in congressional representatives in New York are freaking out right now. I think this puts so many more seats in play. And if you're watching my shows that I'm doing on the primaries, and I talk about the partisan leaning, I think anything light red in those maps are absolutely in play now. I think we're going to see a lot of young people registering as candidates before the December deadline. Thank God. And it's going to be a really, really interesting and fun 2026. Well, thanks for watching. Check out, my Substack. If you'd like to become a member, you'll see a lot of stuff for everybody else. And you can also ask me questions, which is kind of cool. Go to, I'm all over YouTube. I have like 200 plus episodes on YouTube. I'm on Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok. Go check me out. All right, everybody. This has been fun. I got to get back to work. I'm in the middle of August in 2026's primaries right now. So I'm going to get back to work on that. And you guys will see those in a couple weeks. But I have a show going out every day, probably until November 2026 at this rate. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.